Born October 4, 1814 in Grouchy, a small village in the Normandy region of France, Jean-François Millet would often return to those humble beginnings and his upbringing on a farm to create beautiful paintings of rural life. By his death on January 20, 1875, his exceptional body of work had made him the most well-known artist of his lifetime. A founder of the Barbizon school, Millet is most often seen as an integral member of the realism art movement. Curators at the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam and the St. Louis Art Museum, however, believe his work represents even more, and that while immensely respected, it has often been overlooked, especially for its impact on other artists and its influence on modern art.
So this exhibition, Millet and Modern Art, from Van Gogh to Dalí, it's actually been in the works for about 10 years. It's a partnership with the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. And this show argues for a new narrative, a new history for modern art that originates in the work of the French painter Jean-François Millet. Millet is an artist maybe not so well known today, but in the 19th century was arguably the best known modern painter. We wanted to rediscover the original importance and radicalism of Millet's work and look at the legacy, the range of artists who were influenced by him. In this exhibition, we're thinking about modern art in two principal ways. The first is formally. How was Millet's work innovative formally? Even though his work is grounded in naturalism, it was seen often in terms of abstraction and the way in which he's reducing forms often to a sense of two-dimensional abstraction. And I think the second important modern aspect of his work is his subject matter. He's representing a modern rural life, and his work has a strong kind of political dimension to it. So he's representing marginalized, often oppressed rural workers, figures who hadn't traditionally been represented in art, and giving them a real sense of monumentality and dignity. So that kind of political dimension was one that other artists, later in the century actually tapped into and admired. In this show, you'll see an international narrative, a whole range of artists coming out of Millet's work, from Camille Pissarro, the French artist, to the Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh, through to Paula Modersohn-Becker, important German expressionist. Winslow Homer, Millet's influence in America was very significant. A lot of the artists who are responding to Millet's work, they're not always seeing the actual paintings. There's an important story here about the dissemination of Millet's work through prints and photographs. So often they're responding to those. In composition, there's often a very direct response and interpretation. In the case of Van Gogh, for example, he talked about translating Millet's prints into color. We have Van Gogh's Starry Night from the Musée d'Orsay, which is an amazing loan, and it's an iconic painting. Van Gogh wrote about that one more in his correspondence and the painting at MoMA. And he exhibited that one also in his lifetime, which he didn't with the MoMA work. And we have it next to a Millet Starry Night, which makes a really kind of nice juxtaposition. And then at the end of the show, I think people will be interested and maybe a bit surprised to see a group of Dalí's works. Salvador Dalí was actually obsessed by Millet's painting The Angelus and produced a whole body of work inspired by that one painting. And he gives it his own very kind of quirky, sort of psychosexual reading. It's just great to see all these paintings from around the world coming together and seeing the kind of conversations that we're starting and hopefully getting people to think about what modern art means and think about a new narrative in which Millet has a seminal place.